Hi everyone, welcome to my studio. My name is Diane and I do collage, I do mixed media, and share all of those things with you here. And today I am going to be going to an art date downtown with a local group that meets on the second and fourth Saturday of the month. And this is the fourth Saturday of the month. I don't know what today is. Today is February 25th. And I am getting ready to pack up my little travel case that I take with me, my travel on the go art supply kit, bag, whatever you want to call it. And I thought that I would bring you along and show you how I get ready to go on an art date, or just to go out someplace besides here in my space to create. So let's get started with that. So the first thing that I am going to get out is this, and I kind of forgot that I had this. I got this many years ago. I got it on Amazon. I will put a link for it if I can find it, if they still have it. I know I actually even left the tag in here on purpose, I think. Yep, here it is. It is by a company called Free Grace, and this is actually a kind of like toiletry type kit for traveling, and things like this work perfect for using them for any sorts of art supplies to take whenever you're going to be working away from your space. And they work great because they usually have lots of pockets and just kind of places where you can tuck things in and they'll stay safe and secure for while you're traveling. And I had seen this one. It actually has a hook. It's made to hook on a door. It has a hook that goes with it that I don't use, but it's made to actually hook on the door to wherever you're at, and then you can get inside into all the different places for your things. But it works great for me because it has these two pockets on the sides, and I'll show you this better whenever if I change your position on here, but it has these two zip pockets on the side. I do have some things in here because I used this the last time that I went to go work at this coffee shop where everybody meets. And so I have some things that I keep in there because I have on some of my supplies that my favorite supplies that I always use, that I always want to take with me. I have doubles and triples of those. Doubles so that I can just keep a set in here, have a set on my work area, but then usually a spare maybe in case something gets misplaced or lost. Then I always have an extra somewhere. And I should do a video on that too, just my favorite supplies that I always have with me. But so those are kind of tucked around in the sides. I've got my scissors, I've got an X-Acto knife, I've got my glue stick, I have a mono adhesive, I have tweezers, and a couple of pens and pencils. I don't really use those a lot, but I just always make sure that I have one. Anytime that I go and create away from home, I always make sure that I have a bag with me so that I can put my trash in it, because the last thing that I want to do is go someplace and create in their space and leave a mess. So I always make sure that I clean up all of my bits and pieces of paper. Unlike here, if you see my floor here in my bedroom, totally different story. My carpet is covered with scraps of paper. They are tracked all over through my house, because whenever I'm going through a big just a big spurt, where a big creative rush, when I'm doing a lot of stuff in my collage journal and I'm cutting a lot of things out, I just let all those things hit the floor. And so that's kind of where they're at right now. I don't ever do that whenever I am out in public, in a business's space, because I want to respect their space and I want it to stay clean for them, but also for the other people, the other, customers that are going to be there. So I always have a little trash bag. Spares, a mono adhesive. I got some clips in here to clip my journal open. And then in this big section right here, I will just fill this up with things, usually just kind of smaller things that fit easy in there. Sometimes I tuck a journal in there, like excuse me, I'm gonna get close here. My little daily collage that I have in this pocket-sized notebook, that'll fit in there. This is just a tin that used to have scrapbooking type supplies in it. It has just little different types of papers, just any type of just kind of like little specialty deli paper, tissue paper, things like that. I will be sure to take my vellum stickers, the butterfly stickers. Those things go in here. Any of the big things go in a separate bag. So usually when I go someplace, just because of the nature of my medium with doing collage, I can't fit. If I want to stick in something small, I could probably get away with just having everything in this one little bag. But since I do work in larger journals with the larger images, I need to have a big bag with me also to carry those bigger things. So usually I have 2 bags with me whenever I go someplace. So I am going to get this packed up because I am going to be going actually early. I want to get there early today. It's 11:05 right now. It starts at 1. It's from 1 to 3. I have some other things that I'm needing to do. I'm needing to just kind of update my calendar and go through a bunch of emails and do some personal admin type stuff. And I'm having a hard time getting that done here because it's easy for me to get distracted and do other things instead of those things that I'm needing to be doing. So I think with being in a different space, that will help me just kind of reel it in and get focused and knock out some of those things. So we're kind of coming up on the last bit of the school year. So I know I have some important dates I need to get written down and just plan for other things. There's lots of things that are getting ready to start happening here in town that I want to try to go to. So I want to make sure I get those in my calendar. So that's what I'm going to do when I first get there. And then as people start showing up, I'll switch over to working in my journal. So that being said, I really don't even know what I feel like working in today. And so I'm kind of struggling with trying to decide what to bring. Last week when I went, I ended up doing a lot of pages in here, and that was nice. And I enjoyed doing that, but I don't want to kind of get burnt out on doing a bunch of things in here. And I am behind. So, I'm going to take this and just kind of maybe some scraps that I have on my desk. I've got some scraps over here on this easel that sits here. I'll probably grab those. I do have several pages tucked in my big collage journal that I showed you last week whenever I was going through and looking for images to put in that journal. I still have all of those tucked in there. So I think what I might do is grab that journal. I'll grab that vintage tray that I have a bunch of images on. I realized the other day that I have some in my collage drawers that I would like to get out so that I can go through and see if maybe there's something different in there that I can put in this journal to help add on to those pages. So I think if I take that journal and of course some of my flower books, because I always put flowers on stuff. I always put roses on things. I almost always put butterfly wings. I've really gotten into cutting out these intricate botanicals and putting those on my pages. This book is so big and heavy. And that's the other bummer, is that these books are so heavy. Last time that I went, I took my biggest, heaviest book that I have. I will show that to you here in a minute. It weighed a ton. It weighs a ton. I had that and a couple other books in my bag. It was super heavy, and I don't even know if I ended up getting that out and working in it. But I still took it with me. And that, for me, is the hardest part when it comes to putting my bag together for doing collage on the go, because all of my everything, almost all the pages that I work on, it's pretty just, they're not like planned out. Like I don't sit there and just like plan out the page and make it happen. I will pull some images out. I'll kind of let them sit for a bit. I'll have them out, I'll look at them as I'm going through other things. I'll see something that will maybe work on that page. And so they just kind of build intuitively and on their own. And even with working in my little collage journal and doing those little collages, and especially in my junk journal, I was actually wanting to work in my junk journal because I haven't in quite a while. But that is really difficult for me to do out and about because I will literally be going looking in this pile over here, and it's like, oh, well, no, maybe I'll need this. So I'll go over to my bookshelves over there where I have all of my ephemera type things just organized, and I'll kind of poke around through there, and then I'll come back over here and I'll look, and I can't take all of it. And since so much of my work is just intuitive and I just do it as I think of it, I try to create things as I start seeing them come into my mind. And a lot of times I'll be doing one thing and then the idea for something else will come in my mind while I'm working on that one project. And so then there's a lot of just kind of scattered going back and forth. So it makes it difficult for me to hone in and pack exactly what I need, because I don't know what I need. I don't know how I'm going to feel when I get there. I don't know what's going to come out when I get there, what I'm going to want to express. So, and if I try to force all of that, then I never ever like what I produce. So I am going to grab my collage journal and that tray and probably some books, and for sure, well, I need to get my mat. I always need to be sure to take my mat that I use to cut on. I need to gather a few of the extra tools to make sure I've got all my tools in my bag. And I think that will be good. So I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this because I want to be sure that I get downtown, and I can't overthink this. If I start overthinking it, then that's when things start getting really crazy. So I think I don't know what I'll do. I'll either put you down here or I'll put you in my hands, and we will kind of go around and get everything that we need together for my bag. Okay, so here is the bag. A better view of it. It has these side pockets. So, and these little areas here work perfect for all my pens. There's the same on this side. I know I need to put a couple extra glue sticks in there. I have my small tweezers, but I need to put my large tweezers. That's an X-Acto knife, and I know that I need to change the blade on the X-Acto knife that I have been using, because I've been using it so much that it is finally dull. I've got my clips here, some mono adhesive. There's a zipper pocket here. I'm not sure what I have in here. Oh, I've got a towel that I use to smooth down the images whenever I put them in my journal. If I am using glue, it gets them all nice and smooth. So inside here, there are even more pockets for things. I really don't use a lot of those because I have this part stuffed usually with the smaller books and journal and supplies like this. So I think I will go ahead and take this. I need to be sure to take my mat. I'm also going to take my planner stuff, so I've got some of that here. I can put some extra tools in it. I usually take a different little zip bag, but I think I'm going to take this one today. So since I'm going to be working in my planner, I need to be sure that I grab my pens, because I do color code, and my Hobonichi is what I've been using. So let's see. I have these marked. I need my little ruler that I use. I do have a pencil over there already. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to grab all these because I'm not going to sit here and try to figure out exactly what I need, but I'm quite sure that those are what I've got. Got my big eraser and my correction tape. So I will put those in there. Let's see, over here is that little stack. Whenever I do a lot of my daily collages standing here in this space, because I love to be able to look out the window. I haven't opened everything up yet because it's still pretty cold outside. But I usually just kind of keep a stack of random things that I see or pick up. I had mentioned these the other day. I had found these on the floor after I'd been doing my big cleanup. So I'm just gonna grab this stuff and put it in an envelope. I mean, I really just have just little things, but using these just little bits, they're a lot of fun as far as when it comes to just kind of doing those little collages that are just gathered it's just gathered things. So I will put that there because I need to put that in an envelope. I've got tools here, my trusty tweezers that I always take, and I've got a couple of different X-Acto knives. I know I need to take some extra glue sticks. I have been using tacky glue here and there as needed because some of my some things, glossy paper doesn't like to stick together very well with glue stick. Tacky glue has been doing a lot better with that. So I know that these go in here. And as far as books go, I've got my books right here. This is where all of my collage books are at. All the books that I use to get images. There's more back there. This, I need to be putting that together. I'm so anxious to get that started. Let's see. This is the one that I took last time. And I think I did actually end up weighing this because I was curious. And it weighs almost 10 pounds. But, oh my gosh. I tell you what, the images inside are absolutely fabulous. So I think I might take it just in case, because I'm pretty sure that today I'm going to be working in my big collage journal. So I need a butterfly book. This is the butterfly book that I always use. And I think I might take, oh, this one. No, wait, which one is it? I've got another rose book here. Let's take this one. This one has some beautiful rose images in it also. So I've got that. And so that's my butterfly and roses. I think that might be it. I don't want to overdo it. So these are all more magazines that I found I need to go through. All right. I think that will be good. So I honestly don't even think I can pick this book up like with one hand. So, oh goodness. So this is how I need to do a room tour and let you see how things have kind of ended up over here. But it looks a whole lot different than it did. So books. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. There is the cover of that. And so those will go in my bag. And I think that might be it. So I'm going to pause you for a minute while I need my journals. I need to grab this. I keep these over here in the corner right now. This corner looks way different too than how it did. So I've got that. And I wanted to grab some images out of here. Let's see. Where is what I'm looking for here? People. I feel like there was some in here that I had come across as I was looking for something else, and I thought, oh, I didn't realize that all those were in there. Those are kind of cool. So, just gonna pull some of these out. I think that might be it. Feels like some of these are upside down. All right, I'm gonna leave that at that. I do have, well, see, that's the other thing. See, I always put watches and, well, I use watches a lot, jewelry a lot. That's all what's in here. But I also know that there's a good chance I am not going to be finishing a page. I'll probably just kind of be mapping one out. So I'm not going to worry about bringing any of those things. So that is where I moved all of my collage images, all of my images that I have organized for collages. Those used to be stacked up there in that corner. Super, super tall, and it was just big and dark, and I cleaned that out and it looks a lot more open. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get things packed up, and then I will check back in with you. Alrighty, so here's what I've gotten packed up. I had to make some adjustments because since I'm bringing my planner type things with me this time, that has taken up some of the space that I would have for other books, and I don't want to have to carry another bag. I mean, if I wanted to, I could put the planner stuff into a smaller tote bag, which I might do just to like, so this one isn't so crazy stuffed. But I forgot I needed to bring my iPad along with me. So I only ended up, as far as with books, taking my big flower book, because I know for sure that what I need for some of these pages in this journal would come from this book. So I took out the butterfly book and I took out the rose book. And I took out the smaller rose book too. So that will just kind of help narrow things down as far as with that. And I can just focus on maybe the type of floral elements that I want to put in there first onto some of these pages. And then, you know, later on, after I get home, if it feels like a page is starting to really grow, then I'll start adding more collage elements into that. So I've got my journal tucked in here, my big collage journal. This is that tray that has all the images on it. I have my iPad. I've got a couple notepads, and I've got my little cutting mat, and then I have the book. And then in here, I have my little pocket-sized journal, just some of the vellum stickers. This has a book in it, and it's where I get a lot of my book texts that I use for these pages, so I just keep it in here. It fits perfect, so I grab that. I have my Hoponichi, and then I switched over to this bag, and this just has random just little scraps of paper and things like that, and that is where I did put those little bits and pieces of paper from on top of my easel. So then I just made sure that I had extra adhesive, and I added some X-Acto knife blades in there so I can change my blade when I get there. Got my glue over there, and then this is just not going to fit. So I haven't decided if I'm going to take the pins out and try to put them in something smaller, or if I'll switch to just adding another bag to put the planner stuff in, and that way it's kind of separated. So that's what I've got. That's what I've got going on. Okay, so that is what I have all set out to take with me to go to this little art date downtown. And it is, well, it's 10 till noon, so I want to go ahead and head down there. I'll get there a little bit after. I'll have about, well, a little bit less than an hour. Just kind of sit and work on things before other people start showing up. And I think I'll check back in with you after I get back. I'll bring you along a little bit, not a lot, just because I don't have a way to prop my phone up while I'm there working, but I will for sure just kind of show you so that you can see what it's like. And I think after I get back, I will talk to you just a little bit about what this is and where I'm going on these times twice a month, and just kind of how that all came to be. So I'm going to let you go. I'm going to slip my boots on, and I'm going to bundle up and get headed outside and head downtown. So I will check in with you really, really soon. Okay, so I just got here. I'm parked kind of far away from the entrance to the coffee shop. I found a spot nice and up close, and I got all parallel parked, and then saw that it was only 2-hour parking, and I'm gonna be here way longer than 2. So I am back farther along the road, and I am gonna gather all my things and get headed inside. So I'm not here as early as I was hoping that I would get, but that's okay, because I can stay as long as I want today. So they close at 5, and last time I stayed until 5, so I might just do that again. So I'm gonna grab all my stuff and we will go inside. Okay, so it's almost 5 o'clock. It's 4:45. I stayed, well, until the coffee shop closed. So there were, I'm not sure how many people were there. There's a good handful of people, maybe 10 of us. So it was a lot of fun. It was always, it's just, it feels so good just to be sitting there. Just with like-minded people as far as being artists. Someone brought some little mini books, and I'll have to get that out. Little mini books for us, and even had some images in little envelopes that were saved by different categories, and then some words and things like that. So of course that was just totally up my alley, since that's something that I do also. So that was a lot of fun, but it's just, it is a very eclectic group of people, and they are quickly becoming a very important part of my life. And so it's just, I really enjoy just sitting there and just listening. I don't usually do a lot of talking, but I just like to sit and listen. I listen to people's stories and to their interactions, and just kind of the comments that are being made. I'm going to go ahead and head home. I did work on a collage, and I brought all of that stuff, and I ended up I took an image out of that big, huge, massive book, and I sat and cut that out pretty much the whole time that I was there. So I brought all of this stuff and didn't use most of it. So that's twice now that I have done that. So I think next time I'm going to try to refine and just what I bring, because I don't need to be bringing all of this. It's for sure a learning experience as far as figuring out what I need to take and what works best for me for going here, especially since I tend to park far away from the shop so that I can have a longer time on my meter. It's quite a hike up a hill, and I've had these 3 bags and heavy, and you know, it's windy and it's cold, and so I need to work on that. So next time I for sure will bring less, and maybe it would probably be best for me to actually pack the night before instead of like the little bit of time that I have in from working, because I always work Saturday morning until almost about 10 o'clock. I work about 8:30 to 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturdays. So then I have, you know, an hour and a little bit of time to get my things together. So I think I should pack beforehand so that I have a little bit more time to maybe think about what I'm going to work on. But I'm going to go ahead and head home, and then I might check back in and just share with you a little bit about kind of how this all came to be, and as far as just this group and things like that, and I guess kind of where it's heading and whatnot. But yeah, it's 5 o'clock. I'm gonna head home, and I will see you in a bit. Okay, so we are back home now. It's 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock in the evening, still on Saturday. And I have all my stuff here in my room. I need to unpack my bags, and I'm not sure if I'm going to work on anything tonight or not. I did work on one page in my collage journal, and I sat pretty much most of the time and cut out this one floral part from that big old huge book. So I am glad that I brought the big book. And like I mentioned before, whenever I was just leaving, before I was just leaving from the coffee shop, I am going to really reconsider everything that I take next time. So I know that I don't need to have as much as I've brought. So for sure, I did end up working on my planner stuff for a little bit. Everybody usually leaves a little bit around 3, and I went ahead and stayed again this time until the coffee shop closed at 5 o'clock. So after everyone left, I kind of migrated into working in my planner instead of working in my journal. I worked on that collage image just a little bit. It's super, super, super fragile, and I want some of it to look like it's tucked in behind my girl. And so it took me a while to figure out what parts of that image to cut and what to leave alone, and where to put some little cuts in the paper to where I could tuck in things to make it look like it was behind the girl. And I'll show you a close-up of that here in a second. But I started going to this collage group. It's not a collage group. It's just a local gathering of artists here in town. And I think I discovered it, I think it was on through my Instagram feed, or it might have been my Facebook in an ad. I'm not sure, but it was, you know, just like an ad, and it, the way that it was being described was, it was this was just a get together of local artists, because a lot of times as artists we create alone, and it can be lonely, and it can be lonely. It for sure gets lonely sometimes. And so this was just kind of a hey, if you're wanting to come work on something, bring whatever you're working on, whatever it is, and just, you know, work together in a space with other creative people. And so I was really intrigued with it, and I knew that it was something that I wanted to do and wanted to try. And the first time that I went, it was pretty ridiculous, because I got myself so worked up and so nervous about it that I pretty much kind of had like a panic attack as I was driving downtown to go to this event, which is so silly, but I know that's how I get in new situations and things that I'm not sure what's going to happen. I hadn't been to the place before. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know a single person whatsoever. And I was a mess when I got there. And I remember just sitting there, and I was so nervous. And I talked a little bit to the organizer and maybe another person, and that's kind of it. I just sat quietly by myself on my little bench and worked in my journal. And of course, once I started working in it, then I was fine. And it wasn't the thought of doing my art out in public didn't bother me at all. I used to go to Whole Foods here. We have a really big Whole Foods. It has a big, huge eating section. And I would go, I would take my things, and I would get a snack and get a drink, and I would sit in their eating area and work in my journals. And the idea of people seeing me work in my journal in public, or somebody coming up and talking to me and asking me a question about it, that has never bothered me at all. So it's not like I have an insecurity about doing that in public, because I don't. It was just all the other things that were associated with it that just pushed me over the edge. But then, of course, after I did it and I knew that everything was fine, which of course it would be, I have since then gone almost every time that it's happened. There have been a lot of times on that Saturday that it falls that I have been out of town, and so I missed him, and I hated missing it, because now I absolutely love going, and I look forward to going every single time, and I can't wait until it's time to go back again. So we're got kind of a little bit of a core group developing, that, and there's several of us that are there pretty much every time, and you kind of start feeling that little bit of a, just some sort of a little bond that's going on, and it's really nice. And when I was sitting there today, I couldn't help but smile to myself, because I was sitting there and I'm surrounded by all these people and I'm listening to all the different stories, and it was kind of like being at Thanksgiving dinner with your very wide ranged eclectic family from all over the United States. Well, all over anywhere. So, because a lot of us are originally from different cities, and we're all have our own, for sure, different personalities. And I would hear one person talking about one thing, and then I would hear somebody at the end of the table kind of throw in a comment, and it's silly and it's funny, and I absolutely love it. So, but it's also great because I've been meeting new people and networking with people and learning a lot, and just being exposed to a lot of the different activities and organizations that are in the Omaha area for artists. There are a ton, and so that's good for me because it will help me get to move forward in just the ways that I'm wanting to move forward with being an artist and things like that. So anyways, that's my little story about that. So I guess what I would have to say, if you see that something like that's going on in your city, I would for sure recommend that you go. It can be scary, and especially since it's something new, but once you see that it's all right, and just having that sense of community with other artists is huge. It's huge. So I think I'm going to go ahead and show you what I worked on today. I don't know. I don't think I can pick it up because it is really, really delicate, but well, I'll lift it up this way. So I sat and cut this out today, and it's going to go on this page that I've been working on here and there, bit by bit. So I had to do a little bit of mending on the other side, there was a couple places where it has fallen apart, and I did have to cut out some of the center parts so that I could weave the stems and the leaves and one of the flowers, kind of tuck it in so it looks like it's behind her dress. So I will go ahead and turn you around and let you see what's going on. And I think that's kind of really all that I've got to share. I haven't done a whole lot more with anything else creative wise, but I did get this done today, so I'm excited to see this one come together. So just hold on and I will turn you around. Okay, so when I was looking at this image here and thinking of florals, I had already decided to put these wings on her, and these are some of those wall decal butterflies. So that's why they have that around here, because these are actually stickers. But I am going to put these wings here, and I went back and forth with this because I kind of did want to cover up her face there, but I'm going to actually have to cut off some of the top and some of the bottom so that it'll fit in my journal, because this image is a lot bigger than my journal here. So part of this would be cut off anyway, and you can kind of see her in the background. So I like the way that she looks with her wings, so I'm going to give her some wings. I've got a little bit of a stem here that there is a little cut right here, so I've got part of a stem. This one's going to be another one of those that's really crazy for me to glue down, and I wanted to do it while I was there today, but I knew that it was something that I needed to do while standing up, and just so that I could see things better and lay things better and just have better balance and everything to get it taken care of. So I decided not to do it, but I went ahead and I did cut some places here so that I can tuck part of these back behind her, because I like making these, whenever I have things like this, I like having things in front of the image, but then also tucked in behind. So I'm gonna have that tucked in back there, and there's this branch here, so that's what's coming up there. This one here was actually connected over here, and I cut it off, and I'm going to put it here behind this wing. Something like, well, something like this. So actually this guy goes back there. There we go. So this is kind of what I got going on. But just with the way that she was standing, when I was thinking about flowers that could go on this, I saw her just kind of wrapped up in something. So that's why I decided to cut this one out, because the way that the branches were, it kind of left enough of a space and easy for me to alter it so that I could make it so it kind of looked like she was wrapped up in these flowers, in these roses. I am still kind of maybe thinking about tucking. If I move this over a little bit, I could actually cut this one here and have this one behind her. But I like the way that it is. So I think I'm going to leave it just like this. I'm not sure what words I'm going to put on it or anything like that, but that's where that's going. And then the one that I'm going to have beside it is over here still, and I haven't done anything with it either, but this is the one that is going to be on the other page. And I'm not sure if I'm going to try to do something to carry this from one side to the other, or if I'm just going to maybe kind of leave it as it is. I for sure want to put some sort of words, I think, over here, but I don't know. It's kind of coming along little bit by little bit. I'm not trying to rush it. I'm not trying to push it, because I know that when I do, then I'm going to do something that I regret. So I'm just letting these kind of come to be, especially since there for a while I was just really plowing through and doing lots and lots of pages, and I'm kind of slowing down in the bit that I just want these last few pages to kind of come together as they're wanting to come together. So that is, well, it's kind of what we've got going on so far. So I'm gonna point you towards me and I'll say goodbye, and then that will be it for this video today. So thanks again for being here. I hope that you enjoyed my video today and that little kind of mini art date. I didn't want to video a lot. I don't know, as far as when I'm in there, who wants to really be seen and who doesn't. So I really try to be respectful of people there. So maybe next time I'll show a little bit more. If I had a tripod with me, then I would have for sure had it so that you could see what I was working on a bit while I'm there. But and there's lots of conversation going on too, so in the background. It was pretty noisy in there. I wanted to, for a minute, to just do this while I was there, and I forgot my my earbuds here at home, so I didn't have those, and I knew that you wouldn't be able to hear me if I just kind of did it like this. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please ask, and I'd love to hear from you. And I hope that you all have a wonderful day, And well, I would say wonderful evening, wonderful weekend, but I know, who knows when you're going to be watching this. So I'm tired and I'm starting to ramble. So I will let you go. And thanks again. Please like, please subscribe, and hit that button to get notifications when I post another video. And I will leave you be for now, and take care, everybody. Love you bunches, and creative blessings to you all. I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.